Hey everyone, welcome to another Anime Kingdom review. See by the title below, yes, this is on episode 17 and 18 of Recreators, and I just want to put this out before I start, talking about my review on the videos and everything. Is that you may be wondering why this is a double episode review, first off, and second off, why is this, of course, these episodes late? Well, the reason you may have heard several times before that I have been honestly pretty damn busy on my Facebook and Twitter. I've said that things are getting pretty hectic. Honestly, I'm getting swamped with a whole bunch of things. And of course, there is the whole thing with the new semester for school has started as well. So I've honestly just not had the time to go ahead and make all of these videos. I'm starting to finally find some time, even with all these things that like finishing up schoolwork and stuff. I finally found some time that I'm planning. We should be here, guys. I'm not gonna say 100%, but by the end of this week, or at least the beginning of next week, I should have everything caught up, and we should be getting back to a normal schedule. I know I've said this a lot of times, but trust me, guys, it's not. I'm not doing this on purpose. You may be like thinking, why the hell is he just not making these reviews? Trust me, I want to. I haven't even watched some of these episodes yet, and it's been weeks and everything because I've been so busy, and because I like to watch the episode and then immediately make a review after, so it's still fresh in my mind. So trust me, I'm not doing this on purpose. I want to catch up. I want to be able to, make those reviews when it comes out for you guys. So you're just gonna have to wait a little bit longer, but things should get back to normal. Just want to tell you guys that, clarify that for you if you've been wondering what's been going on. And as always with these double episode reviews, I understand if you don't really care to, see one of these, my thoughts on any of these episodes. You may only want to see on the newest one, which is of course episode 18. Episode 19 is already going to be coming out soon already. I do understand that, so maybe you just want to see that one. You can, of course, I'm keeping that separate, so you can go ahead and watch that review instead. But I'm guessing since you are here, you obviously want to watch one of these, for one of these episodes. So if it is only episode 18, feel free, as always, in my double episode reviews in the description below, there's a time link. You can go straight to the episode 18 portion of the review. If not, if you want to see my episode 17 or both, just stay along for the ride. And yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Now that we got all of that out of the way, let's talk about how I felt about episode 17, because holy shit, I only got to watch this episode finally recently, and I was so hyped up for this episode. Like, literally, last episode obviously was it was pretty crazy. Everything was starting to begin, and it was hyping everything up for the battles that were going to be coming this episode. But still, I expected to get some battles here and there, but I was not expecting it to be as intense as it was in this episode. Literally, I was at the edge of my seat throughout the whole episode. You start off, you have Celestia going against Altair. Rui's there as well. It's pretty cool to see the differences in their mechs and everything, the power and size of everything. And honestly, we kind of knew for a fact that this was going to happen. You already saw before in the previous episodes that Altair knew what Meteora was planning on doing and everything. And it clarifies that in this episode with, obviously, they're bringing up Celestia going up against Altair, and Altair is just stopping every move. She, like as always, is breaking the rules on everything, including, even being in this birdcage world that they created. She's even actually, from what we see, using Meteora's spell and everything, the whole fact that their whole plan to have all these audience people watching, using that to make herself, she's planning to make herself even more powerful and be able to, complete her plan. So it'll be interesting to see how Meteora will be able to step it up, as she is the strategist for this group and everything, how she plans to stop Altair, because honestly, it seems like Altair just knows every single step that they are planning to make. Even when you have a move like Celestia using, and I gotta say, it doesn't even matter that it's Recreators, it could be any anime or any show actually, but when someone starts chanting and they start chanting a spell, and also it's like toon, 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 like a whole bunch of different things like that going on, like this infinite gate that they decide to use, it's always so damn awesome. But of course, that doesn't end up doing crap, because it's Altair. She will break anything. Nothing can beat her, it seems like, at the moment. They have to defeat her very concept itself, as Meteora had said. And I'm definitely excited to see how they plan to do that, especially considering the fact that there's going to be different battles going on. Altair, I'm not too sure who's she going to be going against, because we have a bunch of different things going on here. It's not just the battles in the birdcage as we saw in this episode. Magane is with Sota. I'm not too sure, you know, if this is planned, because obviously you saw that they did plan everything with Blitz, but I'm pretty sure they did not plan for Sota encountering Magane in that stadium. So obviously she just wants to torture the heck out of him. She just finds it very hilarious on how Sota's character is and how she could tease him and just completely just destroy what he, you know, whatever he wants and everything. And maybe it even contributes to everything that's going on in the birdcage. She may want to destroy all of that. She literally is, like I keep saying, the wild card. We do not know what the hell she plans to do. It could literally be anything. She could end up helping them for all we know, you know, but in the end, that's just a huge factor that you have to keep an eye out for. There's the whole thing with Blitz. He's not in the birdcage either. There's still not the, I keep forgetting her name, but the girl from the Edoge, the visual novel, is also not there as well in the birdcage. And there was a whole thing about, you know, planning to do something with her. I was thinking like a magical girl kind of thing, but who the hell knows on that. There's also the fact that Alistaria is planning, of course, to betray Altair. They have this whole story planned. She's going against, of course, against Rui, which is pretty cool, but it was more of a, you know, a cat and dog kind of chase thing going on with it, them acting like they're fighting but still using their full powers and everything. But Alistaria, I'm still not sold on the fact that she is, you know, betraying Altair. And this is the reason why. The whole thing with Blitz, obviously, which is super badass, like, it just goes to show that they didn't, you know, need to just have pure action in this episode. They can have some crazy shit like this where, Blitz's god, Sugura, I think her name was, literally is just like, she knows everything he's gonna say. She gets shot and she's still talking it up and everything. Like, Blitz is full on so that, you know, she is a demon, a devil for what she did to his daughter. And it makes sense, obviously. If that happened to your daughter and you found out this person wrote it and created it because of just wanting to make the story interesting, you'd be pretty damn pissed as well, right? But he's so blinded by the fact of that he doesn't even see that Altair is practically doing the same thing. And he's like, no, Altair is, you know, she was made from a noble person like Shimazaki and everything. But the whole thing with that is that Altair was made for revenge, just like she said and everything. So it's like he just completely does not see anything beyond the fact that she, you know, Sugura killed his daughter, which was, honestly, I did not expect this at all. I don't know about you guys if you expected this, but this was a completely just like, when I saw that, I was like, no freaking way. Did that really just happen? I did not expect them to bring his daughter somehow to life. Is that just a person cosplaying as her, or is that really his daughter? I'm guessing that's probably really his daughter, because he'd probably be able to figure it out if it was just someone that they had coming up acting and everything, you know? But it was so cool to see Sugura just play it so coolly, like she knew everything was going to happen. She just played out. She got shot and she's still like, you know what? I know what's going to happen. I know exactly what you're going to do, because I'm your god. I'm the person who wrote your story and everything. And that's true, obviously. They know every single step that they should be taking and throughout the whole thing. And when he saw his daughter right there, I was like, oh shit. Okay, this just completely throws everything all over the place. We do not know what's going to happen. Now, it seems that Blitz is going to probably be the one to help them out and, you know, help their side and try and defeat Altair. And this is where I'm getting that they can't have too much people betraying Altair. I have a feeling that, yes, Altair is all powerful and everything, but I don't see that happening. It could be in the fact that I could be wrong and ends up having everyone team up against Altair for all we know, because like I said, Celestia still has yet to encounter the main hero, the main guy in her story, which they may end up, you know, partnering up because he sees the differences and the errors of following, you know, Altair. Yuya and what's it called, Sho are also rivals, but they still were friends. It's kind of a rival friendship kind of thing going on, that yes, something happened in their story that obviously they hate each other, but they may see eye to eye and team up to go against Altair, which means that there is a possibility that everyone ends up going against Altair, and that's the only way to defeat her. That's one possibility. The possibility that I was thinking, though, is the fact that since Alistaria looks like she's trying to be on their side, there may be a chance that she may double betray everyone. The fact that she acts like she's going to betray, you know, she's a double agent, she acts like she's going to betray Altair, but she actually betrays them instead, which would make the battle still even in the fact that Blitz would now be on their side, but Alistaria is still on that side. So it would be pretty crazy. There's honestly a lot of different kind of ways that this can go, and each way would make a pretty awesome scene. So I don't know, it's not like I'm favoring one over the other. I'm super excited to see how these next episodes will go, just for the fact that there's so many different possibilities, and each and every single one of them so far, from what I can see, would be pretty damn badass. There's still, like I said before too, the whole aspect of Celestia going up against the main guy of her story. This is different in, you know, how Yuya and what's it called, Show are their story. Yes, they are rivals. They want to fight each other and everything, you know? So it kind of makes sense in that way that they would end up fighting. To which I gotta say, their battle was pretty cool. I want to see a lot more. Show's whatever his thing is pretty damn cheat. I gotta say, just as, like, I'm guessing if there's glass around, he could just use it to come out of nowhere and just take him out. And obviously it showed that Yuya is at a disadvantage, but he's still pretty damn strong and badass. So I'm super excited to see how that battle will go as well. But as you see, like I said before, there's a clear reason why they would fight each other. There's a difference between, in my opinion, how the battle between Celestia and the main guy in her story, will end up going, because I have a feeling, I'm not saying that they're lovers, but I have a feeling that they are both the good guys. They're both on each other's side. They're both partners, probably fighting against some evil villain. I don't see that this guy is the main antagonist of her story, which means that this will be a different type of battle, in the way that he obviously may see something different because Altair said it to him, and it's going to have Celestia try and pretty much convince him differently. It's going to be kind of a battle of him trying to change her opinion and her trying to change his opinion, but not really wanting to hurt each other too much, but still having to do it because of what they believe in. And in the end, I'm not too sure how it's going to happen. It may end up being something crazy, like she ends up having to kill him, or it may end up being where he ends up going on their side as well. Like I said, there are many different possibilities that's got me super excited. And I gotta say, the fan service in this episode with Celestia's butt in every single scene, it just makes it like, okay, thanks for that. It's like out of nowhere, honestly, like throughout the beginning of the episode, like several scenes, since obviously her, you know, her mech pretty much allows, the way she does it is kind of like a motorcycle, and obviously there's a lot of butt scenes. There's a lot of scenes to go from her behind, and a lot of scenes to go from the Opie scene. And I was just like, okay, I guess thank you for throwing in some fan service here and there. It's not like super huge. Like I said before, in the Hot Springs episode, it wasn't like fan service where it just like destroyed the story, but it was fan service that was appealing, and like, okay, thanks for that, while not like completely just like, oh my gosh, they just forgot about the story. They're just throwing fan service all over the place, you know? So I was okay with it. I was okay with it, honestly. But yeah, overall, that's all I really got to say about this episode. I cannot wait to talk to you guys about the episode 18 portion when I do go ahead and watch that. As always, like I said before, I like to watch this, you know, watch the first episode, which is episode 17, make the review, then after watch episode 18 and make the review, so that I don't, you know, change my opinions on certain things, and you get the full on review of my thoughts and opinions of what happened in episode 17 without being changed by another episode. So yeah, I'm gonna have a little cut here, and we'll get to the episode 18 portion of the review. So in 3, 2, 1. And here we are at the episode 18 portion of the review. Pretty awesome episode, honestly. You know, I was wondering how they were going to follow up the craziness, you know, the action intensity of everything that happened in the last episode. You have to admit, episode 17 was just pure awesomeness. I'm not even gonna lie, like that one had me at the edge of my chair the entire time. But this was the episode I was looking forward to, for the fact that it answered a lot of the questions that I had from episode 17. Because episode 17, for all its craziness, all the action, and all the intensity that it had brought, it also brought a lot of different possibilities on where the anime could actually end up going. And, you know, I talked talked about some of the possibilities that I had seen for like several of the different things, and there was probably even more that I hadn't even thought of that could have happened. That's how many different possibilities that this could have honestly have went. And that's why I love Recreators. There's so many different ways that you can interpret certain things, and you think one way is going to happen and it happens a completely different way, you know. But all in all, it actually went a lot of the, you know, a lot of things that happened went in the way that I kind of thought was going to. Not saying that's a bad thing, because these are the kind of things that I wanted to happen. First off being, I was actually wondering, you know, is that really Blitz's daughter? You know, is that really Edina, or is this like some way that they're trying to manipulate him to go ahead and work on their side and fight, you know, fight Altair and everything? I was really scared for that, because yes, they need to save the world, but literally it makes, you know, it's very understandable to see his character on why he's doing all this, why he's trying to protect Altair, why he's trying to kill, you know, his own god and everything, for the fact that, come on, you'd be, if you were in his shoes and everything, you know, you find out that the person who created your world and everything did all this just to make the story more interesting, literally made him have to shoot his own child in the head. And you know, if I found that out, I'd probably be acting the same way. But honestly, it made me feel happy that yes, that is actually his daughter. They figured a way to kind of get acceptance for it. As you know, the whole thing about this, everything so far is all about the acceptance of the audience, and that's why I'll go on more about that later on the whole Magane and, you know, Sota kind of thing, because that is a huge key element for their whole conversation, as that was most of the episode, honestly. But it was pretty cool to see that they decided, obviously, you know, with all of this, why not take advantage of crossovers and everything, which of course, yes, there's no mages or magicians or anything like that in his, you know, Blitz's world, but there is Meteora. She's top class mage, and with her help, they were able to bring back, you know, Edina, which of course turns the tide of it being that now Blitz is going to be on their side. And this is a crazy thing, is that when I first thought of, you know, when how, what's it called, Altair was talking to Blitz and telling him, you know, not to go into this fight and everything, it actually, when she says, Blitz, I can't believe you came back, I thought you wanted to be with your daughter and everything, you can kind of look at it as like, what the heck, why are you a fool, you know, why are you coming back here? I thought you wanted to be with your daughter. And it wouldn't have been in the way you would think. It'd be more of like, you know, he'd end up dying or something along those lines. But it seems that she not only, you know, knew everything before about the whole cage world, and, you know, it seems that literally she's playing a game of chess and she's steps ahead of everyone. She knew that Blitz was going to encounter them and that they were going to have Blitz's daughter there as well. Though, of course, obviously, it changed the little things up as she expected him to stay with his daughter. But obviously, it makes sense on why he would end up betraying her and, you know, trying to defeat her, is because, you know, he wants to save this world, because if he saves this world, he can go back to his world with Edina. Now, this is where I'm kind of a little iffy, because obviously, if they do go back to their stories, the only reason Edina is there is because of Meteora and this crossover. So she would go back to that story, and Blitz would still have to go back to his story or something along those lines. So I'm not too sure if it's going to be a nice, happy ending with them, for them and everything. For all we know, everyone could end up dying. So we honestly, I have no idea, you know. But it really is something to think about somewhere in the future. Will they, you know, even though he's fighting for his daughter, to have them be able to stay together, will they be able to go back to their world together? Because like I said, this is a crossover story. It's different from the main story that will still continue to go on in the future. They're not connected in any way. So it's like, you know, obviously that is a possibility, but I'm pretty sure just having her alive, even if it's in another world, is probably what would make him happy either way. And I do understand that. So yeah, it was pretty cool to see him ending up switching sides. And honestly, that is more cooler because of how that pertains to what I was talking about in my review in the last episode, and how I was expecting, like, this was one of the possibilities that I could see happening, was that everyone switched sides and everyone ganged up to go up against Altair for, you know, different reasons. Blitz's one was obviously because of his daughter. Makes a lot of sense. Alistaria, I kind of, you know, I still thought there was a possibility that she would be like a double agent and ends up actually betraying them, but it looks like, you know, what she really wants is revenge for Mamika, and so that's why she ends up staying and joining on their side and staying part of the plan that they had created to take down Altair. which leaves there's only one person left, well, two people left that are still on Altair's side, one of them being Sho, and that was the one that I kind of expected to be the easiest to end up switching sides because of the fact that him and Yuya used to be best friends. It was just something ended up happening where I guess Sho thought that Yuya ends up killing his sister and his, one of his best friends, I think, or something like that, and it ends up being the fact, this is where it pertains to like being just completely, this episode made it completely hilarious. It didn't just have action and craziness going on throughout the episode, but it had some pretty comedic moments. Two of them were in this that were just like, I literally was cracking up. One of them being this huge spoiler that Yuya just drops on everyone, and it was so funny. Like literally, it's so funny because not just the spoiler overall and how the crowd reacted, laughing up a storm, and how people were like, yeah, the creator would do something stupid like that, and how the creator was like full on like, no, they spoiled the whole story. Like I felt sorry for her. I was like, oh man, that sucks. When you know, if a story is spoiled like that, you pretty much either just have to let it go and everyone already knows what's gonna happen, which kind of just, worsens the story overall, or you have to somehow change the entire story that you had planned out for the longest time. So it's pretty funny. Maybe they can do it in a way that he just says it was a crossover event. They just had that for the crossover, as like the whole thing with Edina and everything. She's just a crossover, something that happens in the crossover, not in the real series. So maybe he can do that. But if he ends up doing, continuing with the story, people will be like, oh my gosh, that spoiler was pertaining to the real thing as well. What the hell? And that would just piss people off, obviously, But the other funny part of that story was the fact that Yuya, the reasons behind why he did not say anything to Sho, and why he pretty much had a life and death match up against him, a death match up against Sho, was pretty much the fact that he thought that Sho was, he liked to hang out with him so much that, he was willing to just have, fight with him and everything. And Sho was over there like, are you stupid? Who the hell would have a death battle because they like to hang out with someone? And I was just cracking up because of how Yuya's character was like, oh, I don't know, I guess I was wrong. And it wasn't like, oh shit, sorry, I didn't know kind of thing. It was literally like he just thought like there was nothing wrong with it, and that's like a normal thing to have a death match between two people because they like to hang out with each other. And Sho's reaction just literally had me cracking up, honestly. And then of course the other comedic moment was the whole thing with Hikayu. I was wondering what was going to happen. I expected it to be like a magical girl kind of thing because I thought there was going to be kind of a replacement for Mamika, honestly. And ends up not being that fully. Ends up being the fact that it's like she's like a martial artist kind of thing, and a very revealing outfit. I gotta say that her creator always cracks me up because of how confident he is in everything. He's like, yeah, I knew this was going to work. I knew my fans were going to, approve of this, because normally when you see something like this, it would be more far-fetched of, them allowing someone from a visual novel that doesn't have any action or anything like of the sorts like that in their story. It's just a regular school story being thrown in here with a damn martial artist girl and everything, where she's super strong and everything as well. It's not just like she's there for the show, the look and everything, and she can't really fight. She can fight. We saw at the very end, it was because of her that he ends up, Sho ends up being defeated when he was about to use his final power, which of course he put the water on the ground, which is pretty damn smart because of the reflection. But of course, she just punches the ground, like after a chant and everything, it just blasts him aside like nothing. And I was like, damn, okay. He really gave, Hikayu a huge power boost, but it was just cool to see how everyone approves of that. It was pretty funny because, like I said, yeah, that's probably the most far-fetched of a story to be thrown in with the rest of these for a crossover, But it honestly does make sense as well, because I can definitely see a lot of series where they have like magical girl kind of things, where normally it's just a normal show, and then all of a sudden they have like an OVA or something of the sorts of them being like a magical girl episode. So it wasn't so far-fetched, and that's kind of why I thought it would be like a replacement Mamika, but instead they changed it up and had it where she was like a martial artist, which was pretty funny, not just because of us seeing it, but also the whole reactions of some of the people. Like Blitz came down and was like, oh, her outfit looks a little like she may be a little cold, and I was just cracking up, and she's just like, no, don't look at me. And honestly, everyone's like, whoa, okay, like, it was just honestly pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, like it was kind of a semi-serious moment where she was badass and strong, but also it had the moment where obviously her creator had a big part in the change with that damn outfit, which I'm not complaining. Thanks for the fan service, I guess, you know? But overall, those parts were completely hilarious. It was pretty cool to see and everything, how they, implemented it into all the action intensity, and kind of it's been a lot more serious mood. So putting in those kind of comedic moments and lighthearted moments was pretty awesome to see, and how it flowed with the rest of the episode. And then, of course, the main part of this episode, the most of what happened in this episode was, of course, between Magane and, of course, Sota. And before, honestly, Sota, it took the longest time for me to not really, I never really fully hated his character, because I understood what he was going through and why he was thinking these certain ways. I mean, he's human. That's just how it is and everything. But I hated the way he acted around everyone, how he kept secrets, how it always seemed like he was just running away from everything. And then, of course, he started to get better and better and better. And, but we still haven't had the time where he's finally shined, honestly. And he is indeed one of the main characters, the only main character that is not a creation. So I've been wondering, when was it going to happen that they would have him in the limelight and something he does would be completely changing to the story? Because it seems like he would be the one in the end that would be the only person to do something to stop Altair, because he was the closest to Setsuna, and obviously this is the whole reason that Altair is doing this. So it was pretty crazy, honestly, to see Magane end up actually helping him, to which, like I said before, she can do anything she wants. If she wants to be good, she can be good. If she wants to be bad, she can be bad. It doesn't really matter what side she picks. It's more of, if she finds something entertaining, she'll do it. And the whole thing is, people, humans, the way they lie, the way they do this, the way they do that. She explains it thoroughly, and how she doesn't, she just likes how humans are, and she loves this world overall, and that is pretty much why she ends up pretty much helping him and pretty much unlocking the shackles. That is, of course, the big key to the story, which, everything that has been done so far, there is a limit to it, because they need an approval. The approval of the people is the key. Without the key, like Sota says, you can't open the door. And that's why I thought it was cool that when she ends up actually helping him out by making it so that he doesn't need that approval, because obviously his story, like they've said before, it would not work. It's not gonna work. It would not get the approval of the people. But now, with those shackles being undone, he actually is able to make his creation, to which I have a feeling, and I've seen a lot of people in the forum say, it's probably going to be he's going to make a character that is pretty much based off of Setsuna. It makes sense, as that would be the key instrument to stopping the Altair, because that's the main reason. Now, it doesn't mean for sure that it's obviously gonna work, because there may be a thing where Altair thinks, obviously, that's not the real Setsuna, you created her, something along those lines. But it's definitely gonna be something that can change the whole, the tone of the battle, of just completely change how the battle is going, because right now it seems that Altair is all powerful. Her only weakness would have to be, obviously Setsuna and everything, and the person who knows Setsuna the most is obviously Sota. So that would be pretty damn crazy if that is actually what it ends up being. Obviously, maybe there could be another thing where he ends up bringing back Mamika as well, just for the kick of it. I don't know, they may have it so that no one die and everything, because now he has the ability to pretty much do whatever he wants. He doesn't need the approval of the people to make his creations real. So it may very well be where he ends up bringing, Setsuna. It just makes the most sense at the moment, and that would be pretty damn crazy to end up seeing. There's only 4 more episodes in this season, guys. I'm pretty sure by how it's going, there's not going to be a season 2. There's going to be an ending like this. So it would make sense that how you've seen everything go so far, nothing is really working. In the end, Altair is just too powerful, and the only way to stop her is to, pretty much stop the concept of her herself. And obviously, who better else than the person who created her? And of course, the only person that could do that would be, of course, Sota. And because of that, we see that here with Magane ending up helping them. And of course, she also wants it for the kicks of obviously, making it so that she gets to see Altair's face when it's all said and done. And it kind of pertains to what she was talking about, Fool's Gold and everything, in the way that you can definitely see that, do you want the real thing and the fake thing is still looks the same, which pertains of course to Setsuna. So they may end up having that kind of, you know, it's like obviously a little thing that Magane was talking about is that Setsuna may not be the real thing. Like, she obviously, Setsuna is dead, but it's still Setsuna in a way that it may honestly change how Altair feels, how she thinks, how she acts, and it may end up being a very dramatic moment, you know. But yeah, it's pretty much all I gotta say about that. You know, most of the episode, that was most of the episode. There was of course the last part with obviously it looked like they were gonna win. And of course, that's not going to happen that easily, you know? There's still 4 more episodes, and there's still Karen, I think that's what his name was, the main guy in Celestia's story. There's that whole thing as well, since, yeah, he came along, stopped the fight, stopped Rui from getting ahead to, you know, attack Altair. So, of course, I'm not too sure what's going to go on there. It's going to be a pretty intense battle between Celestia and him, probably like a very emotional battle. But I got to say, from just the look of him, his eyes, it looks like he's possessed or somehow taking control of like a curse or a spell or of the sorts. I'm not too sure how, but like I said, Altair, like we keep seeing, she's all powerful. She can do pretty much anything, it seems. And it wouldn't be so far-fetched to figure out that she has the ability to, you know, control someone's mind, and that's pretty much why she brought him back and decided to, I don't know, only control his mind. I guess that would make sense. Like, why wouldn't she do it for everyone else? I'm not too sure, but just from the look of him, it doesn't look like he's himself. And obviously, I was thinking maybe there's the chance that he actually is the villain and everything, but the way Celestia reacted, like, oh, Karen, it didn't seem like that at all. So I'm expecting the next episodes to be pretty damn crazy. The whole thing obviously is pretty much everyone is now on board to, you know, fight off Altair. Celestia is going to have a huge emotional battle between herself and of course Karen and Charon, I don't know how to say his name. And then of course there's still the whole thing with now the fact that Magane is helping. She gave, you know, what's it called, Sota the ability to, of course, make his own creation. So that's, of course, going to be the huge thing that we're going to be seeing in the next couple episodes. And who knows, Magane, she's still a wild card. She may end up, you know, betraying them in the end as well. We honestly really do not know, but overall I'm pretty sure she's just helping because she loves the world. And the whole thing where she's a contradiction, she's not going to be allowed to stay in this world, there's a possibility maybe she somehow breaks that as well and still is able to stay at the very end. It would be cool if all of them could stay, honestly, but I'm not too sure how exactly that's going to end up working out. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say, guys. Overall, hope you guys enjoyed this double episode review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Is there anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy it, feel like, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. And as always, guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. How did you feel about this episode? How did you feel about the last episode? Whatever you guys want to talk about, feel free to comment below. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. So till next time, see ya.